Welcome to API Conversations. Launching public APIs also means building a developer portal to educate and support developers exploring your APIs. Now, how can we meet their expectations and offer a seamless experience to developers? Today, I'm joined by Abdul Hanan, product manager at APImatic, to discuss all things developer portals. Thanks for joining me.
Glad to be here, sir.
Awesome. Now, let's start by discussing what should be the primary goals of a developer portal.
Okay, so consider your developer portal as a marketing website. So the first thing anybody who comes to that developer portal is looking for the problems that the API solves. So it should communicate that to the developer, followed by having all the information that they need to get onboarded and run the API. So having the information in one place and make sure it's easy to navigate because people are looking for things, and if they don't find it, they lose interest. And the overarching goal for any developer portal would be to reducing the learning curve and make it easy for anyone to do the integration. So that pretty much is what the main target for a good developer portal is.
So, for teams that are building a brand new developer portal or perhaps rebuilding their existing one, what components do you think are essential for creating a good developer portal experience?
Hmm. So the key components around the developer portal, let's start off with guides. So having good guides on the portal is really essential. Guides could be of any multiple types. So there could be quick start guides, business use case guides, how to authenticate guides, guides to consume any endpoints that help understand the API much better. Then I would say having an API reference or the API Explorer that explains the developer what exactly the API payload is, the responses are, the possible sample values. Then having the code samples is really important. So people would relate more to their native language as a developer, and having those code samples along with SDKs in multiple languages is also something that everybody should consider, in my opinion. And people basically relate more when they have business use cases on developer portal. So they know that this API solves their business use case. So that helps people understand the API faster and onboard quicker. The last thing I would like to mention is support mechanisms. That could be feedback around the documentation or the API, or FAQs. If anybody faces any problems, they can quickly resolve them rather than generating a support ticket and waiting for the response. So these are a couple of things that I think basically combine to make a good developer portal.
Those are great tips. Now, when done right, how can a developer portal streamline the onboarding process for new developers?
So streamlining onboarding is all about reducing the friction and ensuring people adopt to the API faster. So I would like to start off with the authentication processes. So having a clear way to get the API keys or complete the authentication command is the first thing somebody needs to is, followed by some quick start guides, how to basically, I would say the quick start guides are a high level overview to get onboarded on the API. The third thing that comes to my mind is, I would say, interactive tutorials. So people like to be hands-on. So if you give them a hands-on approach in learning, it creates a better impact for them and they onboard quicker. Then having sample applications and a sandbox environment do also help. So with sample applications, you can demonstrate that the real world problem, how it can be solved, and it becomes a good base to run a POC on. And sandbox environment definitely helps them experiment without any risk. So these are a few things that I think so would be help in streamlining the onboarding of a developer.
All right, that all sounds great. Can you share some examples of developer portals that are doing an excellent job, in your opinion?
Yeah, I have a couple of them on my mind. The first one is Twilio. I'll open it in parallel. So they are well known for their, I would say, API onboarding and developer experience. And people often talk about them when they are referring to developer experience. So if you look at the portal, you will see that they have getting started guides, API reference, tutorials or business use cases, usage guides, and on the top, you'll also see SDKs. So let me quickly go through what a guide looks like. So you get how to sign up for a free trial. So this is pretty much how to get the authentication stuff built. Similarly, if we go back, you can look at tutorials. So let's pick up the first business use case there is. They ask you what sort of language is available. Let's say PHP is my language. And if I scroll down, you get code samples in your language and they guide you step by step what exactly to do. And quickly, they have this dedicated page for SDKs and uh, with all the other things, Open API specification, JavaScript SDKs, iOS SDKs, things around that. Another good example would be Maxio, previously known as Chargeify. So they are basically have their developer experience portal uh, built using APImatic. So let me quickly share it. Oh, I switched down my screen. So this is what the landing page looks like. So it's all about what their business does, what sort of solutions do they have. This is a language page. Let me go to their API reference. So that's what an API reference, APImatic's API reference page looks like. So you have that description at the top, followed by the authentication and API playground, and you get that curl command, which helps you make the first write out call. So this entire, I would say, the console is interactive. So anything you do, you can make a live write out call to Maxio server. Along with that, at the top, you will see the language selector, where if you are a developer of your own choice, you can switch your language and go to your native language, which you are comfortable with, and go about from there and have that experience in .NET, PHP, Java, whatever you like. So this is another great example of a developer portal uh, that I would like to share.
Thanks for sharing those. What emerging trends are you seeing in the world of developer portals?
One of the emerging trends I would like to mention here is the AI. So combining AI with the API, and it can help people onboard much quicker and resolve their queries much faster. So this is something what APImatic is also working on. So we have this API Copilot sitting on top of a developer portal that consumes the entire context of a developer portal and helps people generate responses to their queries. Or the good thing is that it can generate integration code. For example, you have a custom use case and you would like to generate an integration code for that. Definitely API Copilot can help there. So it consumes the code samples that APImatic generates, stitches them using AI, and generates the output. So I just ran a query for a quick demo. So at the back, it's trying to figure out which endpoints to pick, how they're gonna fill that business use case. And turns out that after a little bit fine tuning, the accuracy turns out to be really good. And it also generates the explanation, so which helps the developer to understand what exactly is going through the code. So this is one of the emerging trends of, I would say, on the developer portals that I see nowadays.
Thanks for sharing that. It's really an exciting trend that we're hearing about. And I want to thank you for joining me and sharing your experience and advice on developer portals. If any of our listeners are curious about APImatic's portal capabilities, you can import your own Open API or Swagger file and generate a portal in minutes. Just head over to apimatic.io.